ComBank Summit, Forward Together 2025, creating a sustainable future.
Thank you. But I have to make some disclaimers. I am not going to talk about that. That is not what you need. You know, everybody has started shouting at me and saying, "Sir, monada me kiyanne." This is what I have been saying for the last 50 years. And I will tell you the same thing to you today. Because if we are not ready to change, you will not be in the world that you want to be. Maybe in a different way. So what I thought was, I should reflect back what I have been trying to achieve for the last 50 years. And that is what you all have to take forward if you all are committed to achieving what was said in the podium just now. If not, we will continue this dialogue, which I have done for 40 years plus. And we just continue to do it. I want to start with something which some of you all may have seen. From what I know, it should have been seen, because waste transformation, all of this. This you would have seen. This on the 8th of June, that is just this month, right, where at the port city, I was invited to talk about the environment and all that. And I said, after I got the token of plastic, I said, this is not what you should be doing. You should be changing this. But the social media took it up very nicely, so it's nice, because everybody is asking, "Sir, monada kiwe? Sir, monada kiwe?" No, I didn't say that. But this is the social media which takes a point and tries to drive. Thank you. It has done it. I know for a fact that it has done it. That is what I wanted. So it all says Sagara Dine Adu Udukuruenda and all that, because it was a plastic token that was given to me. I accepted the token, but I said this is not what we should be doing. And what was very interesting was a comment that was there. And in the I don't know how many cried, but if they did cry, it was fantastic, because that is what is needed. But this is very interesting. Now try to analyze this for a fact, if you can understand what I am trying to say. Sorry, it's in Sinhala, but you see. Ming ඉදිරියට දෙන සියලුම සම්මාන කලවර ලීයෙන් කළ යුතු බවට නීති සම්පාදනය කළ යුතුයි. එක ගැහක් කපුවම නම් බර ගානක් හදා ගන්න පුළුවන්. What is the thought behind that statement? It's not saying something that you should be doing. You're trying to say, this guy is crazy. What the hell is he saying? Is he telling us to cut kalura trees? I would say, yes. Cut the kalura tree. Why? Against plastic. Plant 100 kalura trees for the one tree that you cut. But can you replace that plastic with plastic 100 times? What is the impact? What is the difference? So I'm very thankful for this guy. Even though I know what he was trying to say was not what I am saying, that it gives an idea for us to start thinking more seriously. Because somebody said, bottles are bad than plastic. Glass bottles are bad than plastic in the industry. I said, yes, fine, very good. The reason? Energy. Right? Reason, energy. So where should be the answer? We have to start thinking differently to enable us to make sure that we don't end up plasticized, which I said here. We are getting plasticized. Do you realize that? Last year, 24th of November, for the first time in the world, we were told that we are getting plastic in the brain. We knew that 2 years ago that children are born with plastic, microplastic in the body. So where are we going? So I think it is time to think a little more differently. So since 1986, we have been talking about this. And just at lunchtime also I was talking with Hemanta, and that is what they are talking. We are still talking about this. When are we going to get ourselves organized? මහා විනාශයක් දොරකට ලෝක බැංක යෝජනා පිළිගත්තොත් ලංකාව කාන්තාරයක්. දැන් ලංකාව කාන්තාරයක් නෙවෙයි ලංකාව කපෝති. That is the reality. පරිසරය ගැන නොසිතා දියත් කළ හැම ව්‍යාපෘතියක් අවසානයේදීම ඊටත් වඩා වැඩි බරක් පරිසර ප්‍රසංග සඳහා යෙදවීමට සිදු වී තිබෙනවා. Way back. That's a fact today. We don't have to start asking ourselves, is it so or not so? It is a fact. Every project, whether it is in Sri Lanka, abroad, or anywhere in the world, you do without consideration to the environment, you end up with a higher cost than what you did. A few may become millionaires, but that does not mean this is my This is the other thing I always say. Technology is what fails when you want it. Let's see. Sorry, but you understand what I'm trying to say, right? These are things that are very interesting. Only that way you can make yourself start reflecting to change. Otherwise, you just go down the line, Always challenge what is there in front of you so that you can find an alternative. Right, that's where we were. Isn't this the fact even today? සෞඛ්‍ය පරිසරය ආරක්ෂණ, that is in 2005. නිවාස වලට වඩා වැඩි දෙනාට අවශ්‍ය සිරුරු තැම්බෙන පෝරණු. Everybody still wants this. We are saying earth-based, structuring all of that. Where is it? So I have a lot of challenges which I have. Anagata Parapura Ananture, we are saying this. We want a plan. Where is the plan? Is this not true? Still more waste, no? And we are still continuing. 92, just before the Earth Summit, World Earth Day program in Rio, this is what I wrote for that publication. In the centuries-long race to become developed and pursuit of modernization, civilization and all the other attributes of development became cause and motive for sweeping aside universal truths that govern the relationship between human species and nature. Life itself became expendable in the name of development. Nature could be destroyed and people could be shifted around like pawns on a chessboard. This over-exploiting, materialistic, unsustainable society, which was the epitome of development, now stands revealed for an unequal use of resources to attain these ends. It is, for example, a well-known fact that the present-day achievements of the development world, accounting for 20% of the entire world, it is still about the same, are based on using almost 80% of existing world resources. Almost every country in the world is exploiting materials to sustain the development lifestyle. We are still doing it. We have not changed. If you think we have, no. Unfortunately, we in the developing world have had to discard our traditions and join the mainstream. The almost independent economy that was part of the sustainable resource use strategy was replaced by the development economy and the lifestyles of unsustainable resource use. This is the fact. And here we are today trying to change it. It's a question of attitudes. Because if we can adopt those, the new thinking that is needed, I won't go through the whole thing, but it just tries to say, this is also from one of my writings which I did many years ago. So it's sad for me to keep coming back every time, over and over again, 50 years, that we are repeating the same story with all the persons around us. And yet we are not achieving what we want, because we are still stuck with something. And that is what I want to just give you a glimpse of. Thoughts to change the world for a better environment. Our common future came to us after 5 years of deliberation. How many of you have read this? or having seen the original document. That is what it tells us. Meet the needs of the present with compromising ability for future generations to meet their own needs. Needs, needs, needs. But are we looking at needs? So these are all known to you. Economic performance, social performance, environmental performance is what we were seeking. This is the model that failed. Because no single expert likes to subdue himself or herself to another. So if you are an economist, you feel you are the one. If you are a socialist, you feel you are the soul. If I am the ecologist, I am the one. So we said, no, this can't work. We said, change it into what I call the onion model, which you will call inclusivity model. We are 1 and 3. We have to be all three. Whether we like it or not, we have to be all three. The system has yet not come there. And as long as the system doesn't come there, you can't be 1 in 3. You find it difficult to appreciate it. But be that. And if you be that, you will realize that it is easy. So what is the problem? This is the problem. Very simple, right? We are at the end 23, 11 hours, 59 and 58, and we have a problem. Just a second ago we started and we are having a problem. While the world has been there all this time and we are trying to annihilate the rest. We are overshot already, 1.5. At the rate we are going, despite all the talk we are having in the world, we will touch 3. That is what we have been told by all the environmental people by 2030, right? So, what did happen? Very simple, right? That is where we started. We were insecure and uncertain, so therefore we didn't change for more than 2.5 million years. But when we became secure and certain because of this one thing of agriculture, we started thinking that we were the bosses. Because if you are secure and certain, you will take the next step. If you are unsecure and uncertain, you will not take the next step. You climb down the steps, you will realize this. Climb up the steps, you will realize this. Where are we today? We are back to square one. We are more unsecure and uncertain, not just only in the environment that is around us, but the environment that is within us. And the way things are happening with people talking, today I am having a ceasefire, tomorrow you want to do what and all that, it is becoming even worse. So you can just imagine that we just need to think a little differently. As a result, every natural system has been altered, some to the point of collapse. We reached 8 billion. The climate has changed. 100 years ago, it was said that this will happen. 1896, a Nobel laureate said this. But we were deaf. We didn't want to look at it. We didn't want to hear it. And today there are those who say, well, it is not happening. It's this natural. So we are still in a conundrum, right? These things have happened. This is all last year. Cities causing global health crisis, all of that. Sorry, 4th largest polluter in the world now. That is what we are wearing. Causing all the problems. 4th largest polluter in the world today. There are my friends somewhere here. Hello. It's happening. But you can't be without it now. That is the problem now. This was the plastic story, right? Now this is the bigger story. Because you're all alone, by yourself. Loneliness is taking over. These are the highlights of last year, right? Felt isolated. We can make a change. Yes, we can make a change. How? Problems cannot be solved within the mindset that created them. Try to be different. If you can achieve that, you will. This is 1970, when we started this thing rolling. That was the result in 72, the first World Conference. resolution of present environment should require the understanding of the three components of the environment. After many years of deliberation, I said, no, this is not working. Let's look at it in a different way. This is a publication of 1998 which I made. Look at the environment differently. There is a natural environment into which we evolved. There is an environment that which we live, which we constructed, built. There is an environment which dictates to us who we are and how we will be. That is your theory. That is why you are here. Every one of those theories are artificial and driven by us through our own abilities. Yes, but something is wrong. So, what happened? They moved apart. We were evolving here. Quickly, I want to take you through. I don't want to take a lot of time. We moved out. Today, you have built environment, which is out of the nature. You have theoretical environment, which is out of nature. And nature itself is shrunk to just, we are told, 12%, 10%, whatever. So what can we do? Have you ever thought of this? We were asked to think about our needs, but what do we want is always what is there, not what we need. Always what we want. And that's the problem. There are needs of animals, space, shelter, mate, education, and there are humanistic needs, which we can't do without. Existence, security, various shades. I have put all these pictures in various ways. A sense of belonging, an affection, knowledge, engagement. Only animal does this, man. Excitement. No other animals do this. So it's very unique. We want leisure, we want freedom. Do you know what it is? But we want it, right? These, where did this come from? It was not in the needs list or in the wants list in the animal or human. So I always say, amatakai podi kale. You've forgotten our baby days, no? You were running while the mother was coming behind with the clothes. Andagane ne, adatat andagane. Okai prasne. I don't know how to say it in English. Hari? Adatat andagane. Galawanna kamathi nadda? Anytime. Any place? No, not any place. That is the problem. Anytime, but not any place. Add to it. Medicine. We are getting sick. But you are not supposed to get sick. We want aesthetics, love, beauty. All of these are subject to the basics, the luxuries, the quality, quantity, and symbolism. This is what clouds the needs and make them disaster on this planet. To achieve it only, we have been going on this linear pathway. In the process, we have violated the planetary principles. What are they? Carrying capacity gone. We don't know where it is and how to find the limits even. Principles of stability and limits, forgotten, because we are superior, so we can do what we like. Resilience, that's why all the things are blasting out everywhere now. See the amount of energy thrown out into the atmosphere, which is not necessary, but it is happening. And that is what we come. This is your topic today. We violated this from the very onset. And now we are coming and saying, can we put it back? The fundamental principle in nature, all substances cycle. But we went on the pathway, no, that is not necessary. We can do what we want and just go on the line, linear. So, and are burdened with environment problems. I don't want so. There are three pathways you have: business as usual, path of sustainability, or go on geoengineering. We select what? For this, we must strengthen with knowledge. Danuma, that thing what is there anyway. Following the basic principles, ecological design, and accordingly going green or circular. Go round. That is fundamental. But we have to think of how to do it. We have achieved something. I wouldn't say no. Of course, with a lot of words. And the word was also said, now it is regenerative. Now we are regenerating. So when I talk in English, I don't say it, but I have to tell it to you because he's in Sri Lanka. We say, Tirasara Sangvardhana. I said, where the hell can you get Tirasara Sangvardhana? If you know your Sinhala, you will find a problem. Tirasara means chirastai, continuous, without end. Then it's linear. Then it's there. No. What the world can sustain, dharaniya. Sustainability in that sense is what the world can sustain within the circularity, within the norms of nature. It's not tirasara, dharaniya. But we ourselves were taken to say tirasara, chirastai. No. Chirastai word came from agriculture. Way back in the 1890s, they were using that word in Sinhala. Chirastai krushikarme. That is the same linear thinking of agriculture that existed then, that we are following even today. So you can see, present environmental issue require the understanding of the three components and seeking to bring them back, which was just basically this, and that is what we call naturalization. If only we let go of our ego and embrace ecology, understand them, the principles, and then, of course, this is all what you all know, so I'm not going to waste your time here, right? This is just picked up from the literature that is around. Sustainable economic model that promotes the reuse and recycling of materials, reduce natural resource consumption and waste generation, all of that. And it was very nicely said on the podium in the introduction to the conference and all the discussions. So trying to relate all of these things, bringing together and make sure that, yeah, we are trying to mend, I would say, the wrong directions in which we went and put it back in the right pathway. Environmental, economics, innovation, cost saving, preservation, all of these. I have some reservations with a lot of words very often because it doesn't sometimes give the right meaning that we need for the object that we want to try and achieve at the end of the day. It's a problem. That's a language problem, yes. But we have to try to work out through that. Technology, financial, supply chain, regulation, these are all the jargon that is around with us, which we are using. Support circular economy is an essential part of the sustainable agenda and can contribute to several sustainable development goals because we have, 17 or something which we are trying to achieve. So, thank you. This is all about that circularity that we are talking. I don't know how far we are proceeding in trying to achieve these things in terms of this country, because that is not my primary objective in my environmental exercises, but in terms of trying to create the consciousness in people to reduce the environmental footprint. Somehow, in some way, even if it hurts somebody, it doesn't matter, I would say, because it does have to hurt, otherwise it can't change you, because otherwise you think you are fine, fantastic, it's doing well. No. Reduce resource dependency, try to minimize the waste in some way or the other, generate an increased wealth, because that is what also we are always aspiring for. So it's a good time now, because thinking of what is happening in the world, at least we in Sri Lanka should start thinking about ourselves a little more seriously than what we have been doing in the past. I would say that, without batting an eyelid, because it's time to rethink a lot of things that are happening across. So you have to listen carefully. Sunata. Understand the Harata. Practice. Charata. And to do that, with the blessings of your buddhi, you have it. We don't have to get it from anywhere. We all have it, right? It's just that we are not using it. Follow the principles, the Dhamma. It is there with you, in your corporate or in your home or in your society. All it is there. and be the example. Sangha. You will achieve the objective of circularity. Again, another word, circularity, not circular, it's something else. So we play around with this. It doesn't matter. But the objective at the end of the day is that we have no time to waste. There is one thing we cannot recycle, and that is wasted time. We have wasted enough time. Please try to make a change. We can. Thank you.